Hi everyone, and welcome back to my Kimono upcycling channel. In this video, I'll be working on a custom piece for one of my loyal customers using a vintage Japanese kimono obi belt. These patterns aren't just beautiful, they carry deep cultural meaning and history. Through this video, I also want to share a small piece of Japan with you. The beauty of its craftsmanship, the philosophy of Kaizen, continuous improvement, and my personal dream of helping more people fall in love with Japanese culture. Toward the end, I'll be sharing a book recommendation. It's called Butter, one of my recent favorites. It made me reflect deeply on Japan, both the good and the difficult sides. So grab a drink, settle in, and let's take a slow, meaningful journey together into the heart of Japanese creativity. The motif featured in this piece is botan, the peony. In traditional Japanese design, it symbolizes nobility, prosperity, feminine beauty, and long life. With its full, luxurious bloom, it's often called the King of 100 Flowers and has long been cherished as a symbol of elegance and good fortune. Historically, it was favored by nobles and warriors alike, appearing in everything from formal kimono to family crests and decorative arts. But there's also a deeper meaning. The character for Tan in botan was once linked to ancient elixirs of immortality, so the flower came to represent wishes for health and longevity. When paired with mythical lions in a classic design known as Karajishi botan, it becomes an even stronger talisman for protection and strength. Though the peony is a spring flower, its symbolism is so timeless that it's often used year-round in kimono and obi patterns. Designs like kanbotan or winter peony even show it blooming through snow, expressing beauty and resilience in every season. To me, using a motif like this is a way of honoring both tradition and emotion, capturing not just the surface beauty, but the story and spirit behind it. When working with vintage kimono or obi like this, I'm always reminded of the incredible care and precision behind every thread. Japanese craftsmanship or monozukuri is about more than just making something by hand. It's a philosophy of dedication, patience, and quiet excellence. Whether it's the weaving of a delicate obi or the stitching of a kimono seam, there's a deep respect for the process, the materials, and the generations of skill behind it. You can feel that spirit when working with kimono like this, even as you carefully unpick hand stitches made decades ago. Now, if I had to describe what makes Japanese craftsmanship so unique, I might simply say the ability to work precisely with fine details. That might sound a bit vague or even obvious, but hear me out. In many Japanese companies, tasks requiring extreme precision are often considered totally normal. But when you go overseas, especially to mass production factories, you quickly realize that what's normal in Japan is not always easy to replicate abroad. Take something as simple as origami. Most of us in Japan learned how to fold a crane in elementary school. Maybe we've forgotten the steps, but if someone asked us to fold one while watching a YouTube tutorial, I think most Japanese people could hold it neatly without much trouble. But outside of Japan, well, it's a different story. In some countries, even holding a square piece of paper into a triangle with aligned corners can be surprisingly difficult for many people. I know it sounds like I'm exaggerating, but I've seen it with my own eyes. Of course, there are people abroad who are great with their hands, but they tend to be the exception, not the rule. That's why I believe Japan has such a high standard level of fine motor skills, dexterity, and comfort with delicate work. It's not just a skill, it's part of the culture. And on top of that, there's something very special. The mindset of Kaizen, the drive to constantly refine and improve, often in quiet, personal ways. Let's talk a little more about Kaizen, a word that might sound simple but carries a powerful idea. Kaizen means continuous improvement, and it's one of the core values behind so much of Japanese craftsmanship and work culture. It's not about dramatic changes, it's about small, thoughtful adjustments that make things just a little better, day by day. In traditional crafts, that might mean refining a weaving technique or finding a more efficient way to finish a stitch. But Kaizen is also a mindset, never being fully satisfied with the current state and always looking for better ways to work. Not waiting for someone else to point out a problem, but noticing it yourself and making changes before it becomes one. That awareness becomes part of the work itself. One of the best known tools used to put Kaizen into action is the PDCA cycle, Plan, Do, Check, Action. It's a method used by Toyota and many Japanese makers to bring structure to their improvements. I've personally used PDCA in my own work, especially at exhibitions. For example, at a recent 3-day event, I originally planned my product display based on a color chart and placed my high-end custom pieces front and center. That made sense to me at first. I wanted to highlight the best of what I do. But I quickly realized that it wasn't attracting new customers the way I hoped. So I adjusted. On the second day, I changed the layout and brought out smaller, more affordable items to catch the eye of casual visitors. Things that could be bought instantly, without much hesitation. I also started building small items with the display pieces to tell a more complete story. And I didn't stop there. I kept observing and making tiny adjustments throughout the event. That's the PDCA mindset in action. Plan something, try it, evaluate, then improve. This mindset of consistent refinement doesn't just apply to professional settings. It starts from childhood in Japan. For example, Japanese schools, we're taught from a very young age to take care of our shared environment. Every student, even in kindergarten, is responsible for cleaning their own classroom, the hallways, and even the toilets. From elementary through secondary school, we have around 30 minutes of cleaning time every day. There are no janitors. The students clean everything themselves. It sounds surprising to some, but it's normal here, and it teaches responsibility, teamwork, and pride in your surroundings. This school tradition ties directly into the concept of 5S, a foundational part of the Kaizen mindset. 5S stands for Seiri, sort, Seiton, set in order, Seiso, shine, Seiketsu, standardize, and Shitsuke, sustain or discipline. It's about creating clean, safe, and efficient working environments, whether that's a factory floor or creative studio or a classroom. When we practice 5S, we eliminate what we don't need. We keep things in their proper place. And most importantly, we stay disciplined in maintaining that environment. So whether I'm in my workspace or preparing for an exhibition, I always try to carry these values with me. Constantly improving, staying organized, and working with care and intention. This way of thinking, focusing on productivity, refining systems, and achieving high results in business, is something that has earned Japan a great deal of respect globally. But, as with anything, even good systems can have their downsides. I'll talk about that a little later in the video. At the heart of everything I do, my dream is simple. I want more people around the world to fall in love with Japan. Not just the surface level things, but the deeper beauty, the textile, the tradition, and the quiet craftsmanship woven into every stitch. Through my work with vintage kimono and obi, I hope to share that richness in a way that feels personal and meaningful. But more than that, my mission is to help people feel unique and special in their own skin. Through something I've created just for them, something that celebrates their individuality. This mission comes from my own experience. After I had children in Japan, I noticed something that might surprise people outside Japan, especially those in Western countries. People around me stopped calling me by my name, Risa. I became just Mama. In Japan, there's a strong cultural expectation about how one should behave in public, especially for women and mothers. There's a clear boundary between who you are inside the home and who you must be outside of it. So what is considered a good mother in Japan? Often, it's someone who quits her job after marriage or childbirth, devotes herself entirely to childcare, helps with homework, keeps the house spotless, cooks daily meals, and waits at home for her husband and children. That ideal leaves very little space for individuality. I felt that deeply after giving birth to a first child. I didn't feel like me anymore. And I was crushed under the pressure of those expectations. Sadly, this isn't just my personal experience. In fact, one of the leading causes of death among postpartum women in Japan, a country with highly advanced healthcare, is suicide. That's how intense and isolating the pressure of motherhood can be there. I couldn't take it. Just 2 months after giving birth, I went back to full-time work because at my workplace, people saw me as Lisa. Not just someone's mother, but a person with her own voice and value. I was also lucky to meet a Dutch friend who asked me a simple question. What's your name? It may seem like nothing, but in Japan, where it's common to be referred to only as mama, that moment reminded me of who really I am. It made me feel seen. So yes, I may have gone a bit off topic, but this is the deeper reason why I do what I do. I want to celebrate the individuality that each person carries. I want to create pieces that honor your uniqueness, your identity, and your story, because everyone deserves to feel seen, valued, and beautiful just as they are. By the way, one of my goals moving forward is to bring a little piece of Japan directly into your hands, no matter where you are in the world. I'm currently working on developing a DIY kit that lets you experience the beauty of Japanese textiles and craftsmanship at home. The kit will include authentic vintage kimono fabric that I sourced, simple tools, and easy to follow instructions or the video links to help you create your own small piece. Whether it's an accessory, interior decor item, or a thoughtful gift. But it's not just about making something with your hands. It's about feeling connected to the material, to the tradition, and to yourself. I want you to experience the calm, meditative joy that comes from working with the fabric that holds decades of history. It's also a chance to slow down, be mindful, and discover your own creativity in a meaningful way. Of course, obi and kimono fabrics can sometimes be found cheaply at second-hand shops in Japan, but they're often large, heavy, and bulky, which makes international shipping quite expensive. And because there's so much fabric, it can be overwhelming. Most people can't use it all, and many aren't sure what to even make with it. That's why I think having a bit of guidance and a curated kit could help more people feel confident to start creating. At a recent event, I had a number of vintage fabrics laid out for custom orders, and so many people came up asking if they were for sale. That really showed me there's interest. So I've been thinking, what kind of items will be fun and easy for people to try first? Maybe a sunglasses case or a pouch, something simple but beautiful and useful too. What do you think? I'd love to hear your ideas. This is still a work in progress, but I'm really excited about where it's headed. Before we end today's journey, I want to share a book that deeply resonated with me. Butter by Asako Yuzuki. At its core, Butter is about a woman accused of murder who also happens to be a brilliant cook. But the real story lies underneath, in how it explores femininity, self-worth, societal expectations, and the ways women are often judged for simply living outside of what's considered normal. Earlier in this video, we talked about Japan's pursuit of perfection, the spirit of Kaizen, the cultural value of craftsmanship, and even how children are taught discipline and responsibility through cleaning their own classrooms. These are powerful and beautiful elements of Japanese society, but the Butter reveals the other side, the shadow, where perfection becomes pressure and order becomes expectation. After becoming a mother myself, I shared how I felt erased. No longer Risa, but just someone's mom. And in Butter, we see women who also refuse to let go of their individuality, even when society finds them strange, selfish, or even threatening. Interestingly, when this novel was first released in Japan, it wasn't widely embraced. Some people, especially men, said the women in the book were scary. There was discomfort with how unapologetically complex and emotionally hungry these women are. Instead, public conversation often focused more on the food scenes, perhaps because it was easier than confronting the deeper uncomfortable truths about misogyny and gender roles. This reaction reflects something many women in Japan know all too well, that stepping outside the box, expressing desire or ambition, often comes at a cost. But it's exactly why I think this novel is important. It doesn't offer easy answers. Instead, it invites us to taste. Really taste what it means to live truthfully, imperfectly, and fully. So if you're looking for a story that reflects not just the beauty of Japan, but also the weight of its social expectations, especially for women, Butter is a rich, thought-provoking read. It connects deeply with everything we've explored today: tradition, creativity, individuality, and the quiet rebellion of being yourself in a world that often asks you not to be. Thank you so much for spending time with me. Through fabric, philosophy, food, and personal stories, I hope this video has given you a deeper appreciation for the beauty and complexity of Japan. Not just the polished surface, but also the culture, values, and quiet struggles behind it. Whether it's the intricate patterns or a vintage kimono, the spirit of Kaizen, or the voices in a novel like Butter, Japan is full of stories waiting to be shared and understood. My dream is to connect people through this art, to make you feel something special, seen and inspired. And I truly believe that the more we understand each other's cultures, the more kindness and creativity we can share across borders. Let's continue to celebrate Japan together, its traditions, its evolution, and the individuality within. If something in this video moved you, taught you something new, or sparked your curiosity, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Until next time, thank you for watching and thank you for being part of this journey with me. またね。